Cents with Igwe Henry, oh yeah.
Welcome to my 2 cents with Igwe Henry, as proudly supported by Akova Premium Water for those who love water.
Taste it, love it. Akova Premium Water for those who love water.
And right about now, I would love us to have a look, watch and listen to a very good friend I have admired from a very far place. His name is Keji Giwa, a serial entrepreneur. And let's take a look at what he thinks is, for him, a sustainable economy in any society, especially for Nigeria.
When you're in business school, they tell us that when you're predicting the future, when you're defining your strategy, you don't define it on hope. You look at historical data, you look at the trends, you look at the patterns over the last 5 years or last 10 years, and then you look at the factors driving whatever is affecting or benefiting your business, and you look at the sustainability of it and how long it will take, and then you make your decision and you decide whether it's worth doing it or not. And for me, and I'll say it again, I had no choice than to bank on Nigeria not getting better.
Hey, you again.
That was the history.
You again.
You asked me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Keji Giwa, who is stating the fact that he is banking on Nigeria not being successful for the benefit of his business. You could imagine what is happening in the senses of someone who went through the 4 walls of school. Well, I do not blame Keji Giwa. You know, what he is exhibiting is nothing but entrepreneurial juvenile delinquency. That is basically what he is going through. Because I do not know why he is doing all of this. Every now and then you see him putting out very despicable videos that make him feel to be clever by half, but nothing going on in his gray matter. Now, what Keji Giwa had naively refused to understand is that he is going through what we would call a toxic entrepreneurial hubris. And this is the point where the drive to build a business destroys the humanity of the entrepreneur building such business. That is basically what Keji Giwa is going through. Toxic entrepreneurial hubris. Because I do not understand how someone would say that he is banking on Nigeria not being good for the benefit of his business. In fact, I would love to go further to say that when you take a look at behavioral economics and startup culture, Keji Giwa might not know, but he is slowly but surely suffering from a syndrome called the Icarus Syndrome. It is spelled I-C-A-R-U-S, Icarus Syndrome. And this is that point where an individual, an entrepreneur, in the course of his entrepreneurial rush, totally does not know how to decipher legality, law, morality, ethics. That is basically what it is. Because for someone to say that he prefers or he is banking on Nigeria not being good because of his benefit, it is not just laughable, it is ludicrous, it is stupid, it is foolishness of the biggest order, if I would love to use that word. That is similar to someone saying, get rich or die trying, which is why our young people are all over the place doing all manners of criminality so they can get rich. For them, humanity is not part of the equation. Because how can someone say that it is better for Nigeria to go bonkers for his business to work? And you tell me you learned that from a business school? Then such business school should be closed down because it is Machiavellian. It's similar to say, get rich or die trying, or the end justifies the means. That's basically what it is. And this is classically put together by Robert K. Mayton's string theory. And people like Keji Giwa has been classified with that string theory as people that are called innovators in the deviance strain. That's basically what it is. Keji Giwa said he went through 4 walls of business school. I do not know which of the business school he went to, but there is something I think he wasn't taught in business school, and that is what we call regenerative economy. Regenerative economy. Okay? And that is what we call it, or impact capitalism. And this is when solution is provided by entrepreneurs for a very big challenge in society, not because you want such problem to continue in perpetuity. That is what is called impact capitalism. And for such entrepreneurs, we'll call them steward capitalists in what is called stewardship capitalism. So you solve a particular problem until you come to that point where the problem is extinguished, rather than pray for more problem is one in what we call Cobra effect. What you do as a very good entrepreneur is to pivot or iterate. You iterate to a bigger challenge and start solving it. That is what it is called. So for Keji Giwa to keep pushing out narrative that it is better for Nigeria to go bonkers, to go to hell while his business is growing, is someone who does not understand what he is talking about. And I truly do not blame him. This is a syndrome that you get when you see an entrepreneur meddle around with not so good politicians. And we all know that politicians are not in any way beneficial to any society, because all they do is extract from the society at all cost. They don't care. Grab it, snatch it, run with it. That is the quality of politicians. So they don't care about impact capitalism. They don't care about regenerative economy. Let's put this problem to a halt so the society can be better off. They will move up a notch to bigger problems and solve them. So when you have entrepreneurs meddle or mix together, it takes 2 to tango. 2 cannot work until they agree. And that is what Keji Giwa is suffering from. And little wonder you see him put out comments, put out videos that debase his intellectual prowess. It's a big shame on him, a very big shame. I've had the opportunity of meeting him once, sometimes in 2018 or 2019, in a conference that's put together by, I guess, the Nigerian Institute of Marketing or something at a GRA in Ikeja. The Keji Giwa that spoke on that particular seminar is totally different from the Keji Giwa I know today and I see on social media. The Keji Giwa I see today is someone who is going through all sorts of things that you're wondering, what's wrong with this guy? Very hyper, and you don't understand what's wrong with him. I think he needs therapy. He needs a bit of therapy. That is what I think. Because the Keji Giwa I talked to at the end of that seminar in 2018 or 2019 is quite different from the man I see today. The truth is, business is not about flexing your muscle. No, it's about building the society. When the society becomes better off, then you as an entrepreneur become profitable. That is what a good, nascent society and economy looks like.
My 2 cents with Igwe Henry, oh yeah. Through they drop like rain, no deny. From street to the top, we they testify. No sugar coat, we they talk, I'm a CB.